Okay, so my cupcake is coming along and I'm going to show you. I used my template on the polystyrene foam ball. There is a YouTube on the template on how to use it. I'm not going to do it right now. You could check that video out in my YouTube channel. Okay, so the template, what it does, it allows you to give you the shape of the ball without using your hands too much. You don't need the template. All you gotta do is warm up the sheet, grab your foam ball, squeeze it tight as much as you can, and it will give it a shape. If you had the template, you'd have a little more maneuvering and it's easier on your hands. That's why I use the template. Now this template, since we're doing the cupcake, we're not doing half of it. We're doing more than half. So I recommend that you use a little more sheet, maybe a 1/4 inch more of a sheet, so you can have enough sheet for it to go through, and you would be able to cut and glue down onto it like this, the way I did here. I was able to glue down. Don't worry about any imperfections on the outside. That's the good thing about giving it the ridge too. You could squeeze it in as much as you can into the ball and giving it the shape. Okay. Like I said, don't worry too much about these imperfections. I'm going to show you a trick on how to hide all that stuff, and that's the beauty about handcrafted items, that you could always cover it up with embellishments and make it as beautiful as you possibly can. So I freehand some icing, and I'm going to show you. All I did was I grabbed a bamboo skewer. I love these bamboo skewers because they're nice and long, or you could use a toothpick too. And I just trace it out freehand however I want it, and I start to um, cut the shape out. Or you could cut the shape without even tracing. It depends how artistic you want to be and how creative you are with drawing and shapes. Remember, it's completely freehand. You really don't need a template. If you feel like you do need a template, just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to make one for you. Alright, so here's the rest of my icing, and I'm going to show you a cool little trick here. I'm actually going to shadow it a bit. I'm not sure if you are familiar with using chalk. If you're not, I highly recommend you do. It's actually very affordable if you go to your local craft store. Grab yourself a coupon and buy some chalk, and you can start shadowing your foam. It gives it a real nice look. Actually, let me perfect this a bit so it won't look so. Here we go. A little more smoother on the edges. I like smoothness. Anyways, grab a chalk, and you could put the edge, and you could start smoothing it out with your finger. Or you could even wet the chalk if you like, and it will give it another shadow, a deeper shadow, easier to work with. So I'm just smoothing it out with my fingers. I don't think you could appreciate so much with, this camera and the lighting, but I'll try to be as quick as possible in the interest of time. I don't know if you could tell, it's giving you like a little bit of a shadow around the edges. That's great for all your foam projects. If you want to give more dimension, a little more of a detail to it, you could definitely shadow. Alright, I'm going to leave it as is and I'll perfect it later on. I'm going to iron it with my iron just so I could get it to mold onto the cupcake, and I can show you how I did this one here. Perfect, it's nice and warm, and then you layer it. What I could do later on is I'm just going to go back and reshadow it. You see, and I could also you could shadow this one as well. You could do as much shadow as you want. There is really no no limitations to what you can possibly do. All right. I already used my foam cupcake mold, as you can see it here. It gives it a little bit of the, you know, the ridges, the look of a cupcake holder. So I'm gonna do this. I'm going to cut this. There is also a YouTube on how to use the 3D foam molds. Just check out my channel. Like I said, for the interest of time, I'm not gonna do it here. So I'm just going to start cutting my little mold. I'm gonna leave a little bit extra. I'm not gonna cut it all the way to the edge. Cut it all the way up to run around. If you don't have the mold, don't worry, you don't need the mold. I just like the mold because it gives it that little cute look. Don't worry about this part yet either. I'm going to show you how to cover that up as well. If you don't have the mold, you could actually use cardstock, I would say, or if you want to make your own cupcake mold out of foam, you will have to freehand it yourself. I'm not sure because I've not done that myself. Maybe cardstock would be easier to maneuver, but that's the way it looks. All right, so I'm going to start gluing down my pieces, and then my next part 3, I'm going to show you how to embellish with little quick like candy look figurine, I'm sorry, like candy like treats on the actual cupcake, and that will be next.